Hey guys, it's Barrett with the Gimpy Camper. So today I want to talk to you guys about soft starts for your RV. You know, what a soft start does is it goes on your air conditioner. There can be a few different reasons that they can be helpful, and we're going to go over those in just a minute. Essentially, an RV air conditioner has a very hard jolt to your electrical system whenever the capacitor for the compressor kicks on. What a soft start does is it takes that sudden jolt of electricity and it kind of softens that down to gradually ramp up the power needed. It's actually this sudden kick that the compressor turns on which prevents a lot of these air conditioners from being able to be powered by a smaller generator like a 2300 watt generator. Some people do actually run their air conditioner on a 2000 watt generator with a soft start installed, but generally if you're going to do a smaller generator, a lot of these people are using like the 2200 watt generators. I did reach out to Soft Start and they sent me one of their products to install and review free of charge, and so you know I'm going to try my best to make an unbiased opinion in review of this product, but I am going to tell you that they did send it to me for free. We do also have a link in the description, and that link is an affiliate link through them, and so if you use that link it does help the channel out a little bit. So if you're going to get one anyway, I would recommend that you go through that link, obviously, because it does help us out and it helps us with our content creation. So what are some options that open up to you whenever you use an RV soft start? Well, as we already mentioned, you can use a smaller generator to power your air conditioner. You can also power two rooftop air conditioners, assuming they both have soft starts, off of a 30 amp electrical service at a campground. That's a pretty big step because most of the time 30 amps only going to allow one. So if it's hot outside and you're one of those guys that likes to go to the campground and you're like us, you don't necessarily like to go to like the resort type places where they park you right close to each other, then a lot of times you're going to be kind of dummied down to that 30 amp circuit. And us, you know, that's what we run into most of the time. Our RV is a 50 amp rig, but I hardly ever use the 50 amp service because I got so used to using the 30 amp service whenever we go somewhere, because that's usually all we have at our disposal. One other benefit is that you can get by a lot better by using a 115, a 15 amp, a normal household plug. If you're mooch docking with a friend or family and you just have a regular plug-in to plug into, you can get by and run your air conditioner safely off of that 15 amp circuit. Now you're really going to have to keep an eye out on everything else that you run, and we're going to kind of get into that here in a minute and about a situation that we ran into at a friend's house. Now the main reason that I wanted to install the soft start is because I had an issue with my transfer switch, and really I've kind of learned that I'm having more issues than that with the transfer switch. I think I'm going to delete that transfer switch altogether and go with another option, which we'll get into in another video. But the issue that I had, which is resolved with the soft start, whenever I would use my alternative power source, so I have a cord that goes to the front of my camper, and on that cord I have a plug that goes into either the twist lock of the generator if I want to use that, or it plugs into a receptacle which is powered by the inverter. And so essentially what I did there is I made a manual transfer of power from the inverter to the generator that I just got to go move the plug. Obviously whenever I do this and I'm using the generator, I want to use the whole power source of the generator, but when I'm using the inverter, because it's a 2000 watt inverter, I do have to be a lot more conscientious about electronics and that I'm running and such. And most of the time the way that I control those power sources is going to be by flipping the breakers off to the things that I don't want to use. So whenever we're using the inverter, I flip off the converter, I flip off the air conditioner breaker, and all the other breakers that essentially aren't doing anything anyway, like my fireplace breaker, because why is that going to be on anyway? But that lets me restrict the power to a more manageable level for the 2000 watt inverter. However, when I'm using the generator, I want to be able to run my air conditioner and I want to be able to use the converter. Now, whenever I was doing this initially, whenever I would turn the air conditioner on, it would turn on fine, and it's always worked fine just by plugging the shore power cable into the generator. And so I know it works, but it would work fine. and then whenever that compressor would kick on, it would drop the voltage down just enough where it would cut the transfer switch off, and then it just wouldn't work. So the reason that I wanted to try this and see if it fixed my problem is I wanted to put a soft start on the air conditioner, that way it didn't have that sudden jolt of electricity and it didn't kick my transfer switch off. And that worked great. This has worked great for what I intended it for, and you know, I don't have any complaints about that at all. Now the issue that I'm having with the transfer switch is more when I'm using the inverter and I turn the microwave on, I'm having a little bit of an issue with it kicking off. So I think I'm going to just kind of get rid of that whole transfer switch and do something different there. And like I said, that's going to be a discussion for another day. Like I mentioned before, we do have a promotional link in the description, and that promotional link is actually www.softstartrv.com/Gimpy Camper. If you'll go over there and check out the products, I think they make a good product. You know, I was talking to Steve over at Shelburne RV. He was saying that, you know, he's a big fan of the Air Excel, the Coleman air conditioners. That's his preference on the rooftop air conditioners. He says they're like leaps and bounds better about having, not drawing as much electricity on that initial shock. I know that some people still do put these on Coleman. Some of them I think are coming with like a soft start option now as well. He said definitely on these other brands, a lot of times you end up needing it just because, in his words, Coleman just makes it better. That's his words, not mine. I'm just telling you, that's what he said. So let's talk about installing this product. So I'm going to say the installation is pretty easy. I think this is the only version of a soft start on the market where you don't actually have to splice into any wires in your electrical system. All of the connections here are actually going to be made with terminal connections. And so it's going to give you directions. You're going to have to download the ones that are specific to your air conditioner model, and you're going to go through there and follow the directions, or you can do like I did because I was lazy. Actually, I forgot to print out the instructions. I just went to YouTube. I found a video on how to install it on my particular air conditioner, and that video was a great walkthrough. The only negative thing that they had to say about the unit, they said it was working great for them, but they did suggest using different terminal ends. Because the terminals that come with the installation kit are made for a larger gauge of wire. I actually thought that was a pretty good idea, so I did actually use some heavy-duty terminal ends that I got off of Amazon, and I'll put the links to those down in the description too if you're interested. I'll also link that installation video for the Dometic Brisk Air 2 down in the description too. Just kind of watch that if you're wanting an idea. He did kind of go above and beyond in some aspects, like adding wiring loom and stuff, which I thought about doing, but I didn't have any with me, so I didn't do it. You know, like I say, this is a pretty easy installation. All you do is connect connectors. You'll unplug one wire in one spot and plug another wire in there and plug the original wire into another connector. It's simple, easy to do stuff. And if it confuses you, well, then you're also in luck, because they have a phenomenal customer service team. And when I say phenomenal, I mean, like, I've never read about any services like this before. I've seen some examples on the videos and stuff where people's used it, but you can call their customer service, you can ask them any questions that you want to, but if you're really having an issue, you can request that they video chat with you, and they'll video chat with you while you install the product, showing you step by step what you need to do for your air conditioner. Now, have you ever heard of customer service like that? Because I've not, and that says a lot to me, and I'm really happy that we're being affiliated with them because they stand behind their product. To me, the hardest part about the installation was figuring out where you're going to actually mount the unit to, and apparently their unit is quite a bit smaller than any of the other units on the market as well. The biggest issue for me safety-wise, and the biggest thing that I had like a anxiety attack with, was making sure that you run the wires across the air conditioner to the other attachment point there without them being able to get into the fan. So I did kind of go overboard and add some zip ties in a few different places just to keep some tension on those wires, to keep them kind of pulling away from the fan, because that was the biggest issue that I could see personally, is that your wires could get caught up in the fan and cause the fan blade to break or the wires to get cut or any of that stuff. So It's the biggest takeaway for me as far as the install. Be careful with the wires that go around the fan. I'd say that the installation probably took me about 30 minutes as I was trying to recheck every connection a couple of times just to make sure that it was the correct way, as well as I was also filming some of this and taking pictures of it as well. And so I think that really it could be done in like 15 minutes. Biggest thing is just like getting all the tools up to the roof and getting the cover off of the air conditioner and stuff like that. Once you got all that done, it's easy breezy. So since installing the Soft Start, I've not had any issue with my generator running my air conditioner, whether it's on the shore power cable or on my generator power cable. We've also mooch docked at a friend's house. That was my friend KT's house. We went down there for a meetup. He's got a channel too. It's called Slow Momentum. Be sure to check them out on YouTube. He's an RV transporter. He's getting ready to open up his own food truck and get off the road. That's his plans for right now. And I wish him luck with that. So if you're ever in Northern Louisiana and want to pick you up some food, go over the Slow Momentum page there and see if he's got any links over to his new food truck. But we were there in April and I was plugged into his 15 amp outlet that he has on the porch. Now that's also not a dedicated circuit, so there were other things on that circuit in his house, but he told me that I could use it. Number one, if you're going to use the 15 amp circuit, you need to be sure to use a decently heavy gauged extension cord. That's where a lot of people are going to go wrong whether they have a Soft Start or not. I actually use the 50 amp cord, which I hardly ever use. I just use it for an extension cord, and I use my 30 amp extension cord, which I usually use for my main power cable. And with that, I was able to reach the 15 amp outlet. I will say that most of the time that I was using the air conditioner, I did have the converter powered off. We recently upgraded our converter, and I'm going to have a link to the video of that up here as well. But that converter uses quite a bit of power, and I didn't want to overtax the 15 amp outlet. Now you can see when I was using my Power Watchdog, which this is a benefit to the Power Watchdog that I never really saw before, but I was using the Power Watchdog because we were on that 15 amp outlet, and you can see the amp draws and stuff on each side of the distribution panel that way. Well, whenever I was on that 15 amp circuit, I could tell that when I was using the air conditioner I was fine. When I flipped on that big old heavy duty converter, it did pop it up over 15 amps. And so, you know, that's something you got to be careful of. Now, number one, we have 300 watts of solar, so we were still getting some charge during the day. But what I was personally doing is I was running the air conditioner whenever it was hot outside. And then at night, in the evening time when it cooled down, I would turn the air conditioner off, and then I would turn the converter on. And that way it charged the batteries up, because this new converter charges the battery so fast that I only need a couple hours during the day, most of the time, to get a decent charge to last me through the night. So all that's to say that a 15 amp outlet can cause you to run your air conditioner, but you're not going to be able to run your air conditioner and a bunch of other things on the power at one time. Now, I had no problem running the air conditioner and the TV and the PlayStation and my computer at once, but you wouldn't be able to use the hot water heater on electric. You wouldn't want to use the converter, in my opinion, unless you got a smaller converter that's not causing that much of an amp draw. But let me tell you, considering the fact that we thought we were going to be using our generators the whole time we were there, it was a great option. It let me not use my generator, let me plug into his wall outlet, kept cool, and then I was just able to charge my batteries up as I needed to. But I wouldn't have even attempted that if we didn't have the Soft Start on the air conditioner. So if you're thinking about installing a Soft Start, but you're not sure what company to go with, I would really recommend SoftStartRV because of these reasons. Number one, it helps the channel out with our affiliate link. That's just a joke, kinda. I mean, I do believe in the product, and I think if you're gonna buy it, we'd be happy to get a little kickback on it, but that's not really the reason that I would recommend that you buy it. I will say that their customer service is excellent. Like I said before, if you need to, they'll actually video chat with you on installing it and show you exactly what to do with the install. Another reason is that they have a 3-year warranty, which apparently is the best in the industry. Another reason is the fact that I think that this is the only kit that you don't have to go in and splice wires in your air conditioner and install. And they have a 90-day love it or return it guarantee. So since you didn't splice any wires and cause a bunch of mess, and you can just pop those connectors off, if this didn't fix your issues, you don't think that you gained anything from this, you can send it right back to the factory and you're able to return it without causing any permanent damage to your air conditioner. And so it really is risk-free in essence. So far I've been more than happy with SoftStart. It has helped me with both the problem of why I wanted it, as well as it has also helped me out in a couple of other ways which we've already talked about. I highly recommend this product in this company. Thanks for being a part of our family. Thanks for joining our adventures. And be sure to follow us, like, subscribe, all that stuff. That helps our video get out there.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.